All right, cool. How's everybody doing?
Yes.
Feeling good? I've reached out and talked to a lot of you. There wasn't really anybody who had any major issues, major damage from this storm. So and we are absolutely blessed. Count your blessings. Make your gratitude statements. Focus on what you have to be grateful for. You have a choice every day. And I've talked with some of you and had some of you already going back to some of your old habits of complaining about some of the little things, right? We have a choice. You have a choice every minute of every day of what you will focus on. You can focus on what you have to be grateful for. You can focus on what you have to be thankful for. You can focus on the people that you love. You can focus on the house. Even if you hate your house, you could focus on the things you love about it. Even if you live in a flood zone that could have had 15 feet of water in it, you have things that you can be grateful for and you can find to love about that home. You have a choice. And again, a lot of us are automatically going back to bad habits and finding things to be pissed off about, finding things to be upset about. Start searching for the things you have to be grateful for. This is a very good reminder. There's a lot of them, a lot of things to be grateful for, a lot of things that maybe you need to start making different decisions about too. Do you live in and the evacuation zone I'm in wasn't a B last storm. That was in an A. So we should have left, but we chose not to. But it's just one of those things. It makes you really start thinking. So if you're doing it, your buyers and your sellers are doing it as well. If you're thinking about it, they're thinking about it. But guess what? You have more knowledge and more information than they do. They are freaking out. They don't have the direction. They don't have the answers. You have a lot of that. So it's now so important that you're reaching out to talk to them. So important that you're staying in contact with them. Use the Covey Export app to export all of your contacts out of your phone, get them into a spreadsheet, and just go top to bottom and start making calls and talking with all of them. Even other agents, reach out to the other agents. What was our statement? Be kind, be kind, be kind. Reach out to other agents, see how they're doing. It'll go a long way. I promise you, it will.
There's no better excuse. What a great time just to say, hi, how did you do during the storm?
Yeah.
It's selfless and it's easy, and it might lead to another conversation that's more exciting.
Yep.
But it's being kind.
Do you guys, I'm going to ask all of you for some input and some help on what we could do as a company, as an office, as individuals to help out in any way. Do you have any other businesses, inspectors, roofers, tree people, AC people, anybody that would like to help out and partner together to gather supplies, to gather water, gather food, gather any of those things so we can do what we can to try to help? Gas cards, gift cards, food, anything like that. So if you all have any of those contacts, anyone who wants to get more involved, let's get together. Let's have some meetings of the minds and figure out how we can best serve our community. The secret to living is giving. And I know that every single one of us, me included, has not given enough. We haven't. None of us have. None of us have given enough, not in terms of money, not in terms of, just in terms of love, gratitude, support, help, anything like that. So let's see what we can do for our communities, see what we can do to help out. So if you have any thoughts or ideas on that, please get with myself, get with me, get with Jimmy. Reach out to Craig, whoever you would like to, and let's see what we can do to help out.
I'll send that link from Century 21.
We'll send a link out. Century 21 does have a link. If you're someone that says, well, I don't know, I've got enough going on, but I want to donate, there is links that you can donate, and you can donate to the people that are in need. Well, getting onto our agenda. This is the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is here already. And the awards numbers for Century 21 more than likely are going to go up next year. The awards numbers for Century 21, for Masters, for Centurion, for all of those things are based on the previous year's prices, previous year's commissions and sales numbers. We've had some banner years over the last couple of years. This year still included has been a great year. They're probably going to stay the same or go up. More than likely, they're probably not going down, which means if you want to have a great year this year and next year, It starts now. Your fourth quarter now is going to round out your year. You can have the most amazing Christmas, New Year's, holiday, whatever you want to have. You can have all that started planning now and getting into next year, and it's going to set you up for next year. But we need to start doing those things now. I would recommend starting with your sphere, starting with your past clients, starting with your neighborhood, starting with those things. Let's get that Covey Export app and put it all together and start making those contacts.
Hey, let's talk about it real quick. Everything's a decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
We set the intention we're going to get. So when Matthew and I spoke yesterday, what's going to happen as a result of the storm? And option A is people are going to be scared to shit. They're not going to buy houses in Florida anymore. Option B is there's a lot of people that need new houses. And Tampa, for some reason, has been extremely lucky for
And don't forget,
50 years.
Don't forget option C. There's people who, like we talked about before, people that just moved here that are scared shitless and want to move out of Florida or to a different area of Florida because they found themselves in an area that was evacuated or going to be affected.
And we can capitalize on all of, not to be greedy, but
What's your
we
job?
can help in any way.
Your job is to help. Your job is to help
It's not
people.
being greedy. It's just, this is our profession and people are going to need to probably make moves because
People
of
are
it.
going to buy or sell with
Right.
or without you. It's your job
Yeah.
to get in the way. And how do you get in the way? By being in contact with them,
Yeah.
by being top of mind, by making them aware. That's how you get
Yeah.
top of mind. So they're going to buy or sell a house. The ones that don't want to move to Florida aren't going to move. The ones that are here that want to move are going to move with or without you. The ones who are live here want to move to a different place, they're going to move with or without you. It's your job to get top of mind with them. Ways that you can get top of mind for at least for neighborhood areas, for the areas around here, we're going to do a trunk or treat event at the end of the month. So coming into Halloween, we did it last year. We're going to do another one this year. Last year was still kind of COVID-esque, so we didn't really push it too much, but we would like to do more of an event this year. So we're going to do a trunk or treat event on 10/28 from 4 to 6 p.m. So we're going to get some flyers together. We'd like you to get out into the neighborhoods and invite the neighbors out here. We can also, why don't we use this as an opportunity? We'll have candy and stuff, but let's use this as an opportunity to gather supplies. We could probably bring your kids, but also bring water, bring canned goods, bring something if you want to donate. We can make it a multifaceted thing. People can come by and drop by. We'll work together to get some flyers together by the end of this week so we can get out into our neighborhoods and start donating. Let's make it a multifaceted thing. Ask people if they have any supplies they'd like to donate. You can come by and pick them up and bring them to the office, or you can bring your kids by after school, bring them over to our office. We'll do a trunk or treat event. So we're going to have a lot of people involved with that. That's at the end of the month, 10/28. We already talked about donations. Next Level U is still on the books for 10/17 to 10/21. It's basically going to be from 8:30 till about 12:30 each day for that week. If you have homes that need open houses, please send them to me today. If you have properties that you would like to have open for another agent to hold an open house, like, hey, I've got a listing, I want it held open, but I don't want to do it because I don't do open houses. I don't want to waste my weekend. There's plenty of agents that will hold your property open. So send them to me. Let me know that your property is available for open houses. I'll get it on the list and I'll blast it out to the team. And I want to get it out by tomorrow morning. Jimmy, Moxie stuff.
Yeah, I'll make it short and sweet. Just real quick, everybody knows that Zap went read only at the beginning of last month. That basically means you can't take anybody out. You can't really do anything with them. You can't access the app as an agent. You can't do a lot of those things, but a lot of you have not messed with your website yet. So just so you know, if you haven't done anything with your website and somebody goes on Century 21 and starts searching for you, or you're doing Moxie and Press and you're sending out these great marketing materials, guess what website they go to? Your Zap website. Zap does not go away until the end of December. So now's the time, if you have not at least done the basic setup of your website, to get that set up and ready to go so we can flip a switch in the back end to make sure that it's going to Moxie. I'm not flipping a switch if you don't have a website set up, because your clients still need somewhere that they can actually go. So I will be holding some website classes here shortly, so you guys can come in just to make sure the basic is good to go. So I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of that, because if you're sending stuff out, they're still going to that website that really can't do anything for you as an agent anyways, and you can't take anybody out. So there's that. And then finally, I know we were going to talk about it a couple weeks ago. Starting today through the end of the month, we're going to have a Moxie Present challenge, you have to do a minimum of 10 presentations for the entire month to be considered for this challenge or competition. And it can be either the non-listing presentations, so it could be like the newsletters, the wizard articles, the John's Pass presentations that we have, or they can be CMAs. But you have to send them out. Okay.
Can we do a trunk or treat presentation? Can we put something together?
Honestly, yeah, we could.
Can we work on doing that this week? Because then we can include that in some flyers out in the neighborhood, but you can also send out.
Yeah,
a
that'd be pretty cool.
presentation. Shoot a video. What we'll do is we'll put it together and we'll relaunch it next week too. Shoot a quick video telling people that we're going to be raising some donations to go down south, and we're going to be doing it part of a trunk or treat. Bring your kids. We'll have trunks, treats, candy, and things like that, and make a little video, put a presentation together. We'll have something made.
This will be kind of cool for me too, because I can actually make a presentation specifically for our offices that nobody else has. So I can actually, once we get some of the graphics together, and you guys can add some videos and start sending some of that out to, some of the people that you know.
But we want to do we want to do a presentation, getting you top of mind with all of your past clients, your sphere. So we want to do a competition here. So it's going to be what minimum of
10, which honestly 10
presentations
much in the top in the office if you can get 10 done in a month. So top 3, we're going to take you to lunch at McDonald's. I'm just kidding. It won't be McDonald's.
Thank you, drive through.
Hey, yes, drive through.
Sit in the bed of my truck while we drive.
Hey, they do have an adult Happy Meal right now at McDonald's, only for a certain small period of time. Just so you know, you need to go get your toy. Anyways, cool. But yeah, starting today. So do it, because I can look at reports for that and see that they've gone out and it's easy for me to see how everybody's doing.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
please.
So we got Mike Wiles with us today. Got to get a microphone coming up here from Mr. Yimmy.
Put in your nose.
All right, good. Good. That'll work. Hey, will you pass one of these out? I don't think we have enough for everybody, but you have to share amongst yourselves.
So what you got for us, Mike?
So I'm going to cover a couple things, and one of them is super exciting. It's about the IRS, but I'm not your accountant, but I'm going to give you some basic information. Okay. And it's some things that I hear all the time from realtors and other people. If it feels like you, it's not a big deal. Trust me, everybody asks these same questions. Okay. Cover a couple topics. Number one I'm going to cover is
let's see. Sure this off.
nothing. I'm going to cover nothing.
No, it's on. It's on.
Okay. All right. Number one, let's cover this. Why are a realtor? I brought up the concerns about rates being high. I just said, hey, look, rates are high. They are what they are. I mean, they're right now. She goes, oh, I don't want to tell a buyer that because they might want to wait. Because I'm saying that in the early part of next year, spring, fall, I think it's still by the end of the year, probably. But either way, you're going to start seeing that come down. Here's why you would still buy right now. Prices are high. I mean, rates are high. Prices are a little lower. As soon as there's any significant dip in the marketplace in rates, prices will just go right back up because everybody will jump back in immediately. It happens fast. I'm probably 15 years in this business. I've seen it multiple times. Anytime there's any changes, it's off to the races.
So like if you had, let's just say prices dip down a little bit and people start, or say, let's say rates dip down a tiny bit and prices go up. If prices go up by $20,000, how much would the rate have to go down on average to like $100 a month, $120 a month?
It depends on the size of the loan, but I would say somewhere in like right now, if you look on, just Google it on your phones, it's 6.7 is the average 30-year rate. That's primary residence. Okay. When this thing changes, right now they're over anticipating thing. And here's something I didn't even think about, but it is true. I talked to the big people in the company that make a lot more money and make a lot more decisions than I do. They said part of the problem is investors are not wanting to buy USDA manufactured bond loans, government-backed loans, because what's going to happen as soon as all the rates dip?
Refis out.
If you're a hedge fund, you're buying a large package of loans, hundreds of billions of dollars of loans. You don't want to buy it at the very height of it because all those people will refi. So you're not going to have enough time to make the money back that you're paying for it. So every single lender, Bank of America, Chase, name them, all of us sell all the loans out, all of them. Your loan's always sold. Now, that lender may retain servicing rights, which means you could still pay the same person, but the loan is already sold within 90 days of you closing. Okay. Problem is the investors don't want to buy it at the top because they want to hold it for longer than that. So that's another thing. There's a limited people, so rates are higher. As the rates start to go down, those people will jump back in. And then it'll start going like this. It's kind of being on it's like I went to Busch Gardens, crazy roller coaster, super fast. I'm old. So it click, and all of a sudden it went boom, all the way down, right? That's what happens. It goes quick because people will jump back in, investors will jump back in, prices will start going back to normal. It's never going to be, we're not going to see threes for a long time. I'm talking about normal should be 4, 5 range. That's normal for what we've been doing over the last 20 years. Okay.
Especially with the inflation in prices, to have the rates in the 4 to
Correct.
5 makes it more affordable.
Much more affordable for the average person, because right now the houses are up. That would change it. So back to your question. I'm sorry. On a $300,000 loan, for instance, when it jumped a point, people lost $50,000 in approval. And then it got worse and worse and worse and worse. Okay. So it changes quickly on those loans. And I want everybody to be aware that the bigger the loan, the more that can change too.
Yeah.
Okay. A small loan, it's not gonna change that much. 100,000, not gonna change. So why should they still buy it? Don't let them, oh, well, it might go down in the future. Well, that's true. It will go down. Things that go up must come down. But what's going to happen is those prices are good, because everybody that can get a house that's holding off, waiting, will go. He was concerned about people leaving. I'm a Floridian. I was born here. Trust me, people keep coming. Many of them keep leaving. People keep coming.
For
I've lived
everyone that leaves, there's somebody that wants to be here. So
45 years of this state. It's only gone up. I remember when this was nothing. So all those people that are worried means all those people are going to jump back in, because the same problems they came from, someone else doesn't like that, and they're coming down here for low taxes. I mean, they interviewed Tyreek Hill. He was like, I was debating on where I wanted to go, LA or Florida, but then I said, that's a lot of money in taxes I don't want to pay, and he didn't even want to come there, but he's in Miami. So, I mean, those are illustrations of why people come here. It's going to continue to happen. All right, so let's cover that. So keep doing what you're doing, and it's still buying. I can tell you that it has dramatically increased in the last few weeks. The last month, the last time I got up here, I said I started seeing an increase. My business has gone up, and I deal with a lot of people, a lot of places. It's going up. More people are getting back in. They accepted the rate. Mom, people in their 30s are like, what are these rates? And then mom gets on, well, I remember then. Grandpa's like, well, I remember when it was 20% down, 20% rate. So, I mean, they're getting used to a different change in the market, and they're jumping back in. So don't have your buyer be that concerned about that problem. Okay. And when it comes up, tell them, look, 6 months, refi, will knock it out, be done with it. Maybe by that time you might have seen an improvement in pricing. Appraisals have been coming in great. I said this last time, your appraisals are holding.
That's
so
why
the value's holding.
That's why it's easy for your buyer to ask for the closing costs or any concessions, because the appraisals are going to hold up. The values are there for the last 3 to 6 months of the higher prices. So you should not have any issue getting your appraisal in, as long as the seller isn't being continually greedy and pushing up another 3% a month, 5% a month. That's not going to happen. You should be able to get your buyer some concessions and not have an issue with appraisals.
And everything that's low price is gone. Like, what's the average time for you guys right now on listing?
It went from the national average was about 12 to 15 days. And then it went up. It's about 45 days right now, 45 to 50 days.
What do you think it is here in Florida?
I would say in our area, we're probably closer to average, probably around 30 days.
Right. Anything good is gone. Anything low price is gone.
Yeah.
This is the worst thing in the world. My mother-in-law is trying to move here, which is a horrible idea. I offered to buy her house in the Everglades. She didn't take it. But long story short, she's looking for something at a reasonable price. There, I was like, she kept saying, I saw on Zillow. I'm like, I finally just took I have a login. I'm less than have it. Stop calling me about this, because it doesn't exist. Because she used to be a realtor and all that stuff. So I said, here, take it.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah. Take it, find it, do it. I want nothing to do with it. Long story short, that's what I'm saying. All that stuff is still going. Houses are still going. It's just a matter of timing and what people can get to. So imagine when that changes and they get that discount, we go from 6.5 to 5.5, then it's a very different market. We're going to be, I feel we're going to be slammed next year. I just have this, I know it's going to happen. I mean, it is. I watch investors. If you come to my office, unless my kid's here and we're watching Disney or whatever we're watching, I'm watching the market. Every single market, every single person on every single advice channel, whether they're the most liberal person, the most right-wing person, all saying the same, this has to end. And when the money speaks, that's really what happens. So anyways, let's get to the next step. I want to cover this real quick on the IRS because I hear this a lot of times. I'm gonna cover a couple topics. One, I always hear capital gains. Capital gains is for rich people. It really is for the most part. Okay. I hear people, I don't want to have to pay capital gains tax. Now I'm talking about investments. I'm talking about houses.
Personal property.
Okay. Personal property. Everybody has a little sheet in front of them. This is your worksheet. Number one thing I always hear, I've had people in their house 15, 20 years. I'm worried about paying capital gains tax. I'm like, that's not going to be an issue. I mean, because what happens is on capital gains, if you owned your house for longer than 2 years, okay, and you're married, and there's a lot of exceptions. It's the IRS. I didn't get through the whole form because there was a lot more pages. Long story short, if you sell your house and you make, and you're a couple or your house spouse died, you get $500,000 you could have made on your house over what you paid, over what you've put in over time. You get an exception. Most people aren't making that on their houses. Now you're going to say, okay, I bought this house in 1980 here and I made, but think about what you paid.
That's the thing.
All that time, add 500,000 to it, add to all the mortgage payments you made. You made money, but you didn't make money. You're not making 500,000 in raw profit.
Most people think if they have a $500,000 home and I'm going to sell my $500,000 home and it's paid off and I'm going to make $500,000, I'm going to have to pay. Or if say they had a $700,000, well, I get $500,000 exempt, but I have to pay $200,000 on or capital gains on the $200,000. It's called your basis.
Right.
I paid X for the property, and over 20 years, I put in Y in the property. I put a new roof on it. I put an AC in it. I put new floors, new kitchen, new bath. If you've been there 15 years, you've probably done all those things. That all gets added on top of your basis. What you paid for it, that becomes your new basis.
Yep.
So you're not going to pay capital gains on the full amount.
Most people are not going to pay capital gains.
Most of them won't pay it at all.
It just won't. You're not going to have to pay it, even if you sold your house in less than 2 years. Because what happens is they backdate it. They take your sliding scale, and then you have to add what you put into it, and that adjusts down. Okay, so when people say that, they get worried about it and they think that, oh, I'm gonna have to pay all this money. You're not. It's truly the government. They want the people that are coming making big bucks, and those people don't care. They got real accountants and they make a lot of money. But in most of the people that we're dealing with, they're not running into that problem. Okay, so when I hear that scare, it's normally from people that are making less than 100,000. They're worried about capital gains. I'm like, you have nothing. Truly don't have anything to worry. I'm not your accountant. You do need to talk to one, but if you read this basic information sheet I gave you, it'll eliminate 99% of your customers based on, did they live there 2 years? They didn't buy it in 1035 exchange. Most people don't even know what that is. And they're not flipping properties. Now flipping properties, that's why 1035 exchange is another whole conversation that no one needs to get into unless they're doing it. And usually they know. Okay, so capital gains, don't worry. Because I hear at the end, the reason I'm bringing it up right now is at the end of the year, I gotta wait till to close. I heard that last year a couple of times. I tried to explain to someone, I said, I'm gonna stop. You're not listening. Go ahead, do what you're doing. I'll wait till January. But you don't need to for capital gains purposes because most people aren't making the money. They aren't making the profit that they're even talking about. Okay, so there's a little first sheet. Okay, second sheet, third sheet, fourth sheet, all say the same thing. Getting to the end of the year, taxes. If you go to each section, there's a section that says how to calculate the income, federal income tax returns, whether it's a Schedule E. Everybody know what Schedule E, Schedule C, Schedule D, Schedule F. Those are different types of businesses or ways you could have gotten money. Okay. What I find with borrowers, even as realtors, be careful what you write off if you want to buy houses. Okay. Here's why. You can write it off one way and you don't get credit. You could write it off another way and you do. Okay. If you look here where it says, and it's going to say the same thing about every single one of these pages. There's a little section that says what can be added back in. Mine's highlighted. I didn't have time to do it, but it says basically any listed depreciation, interest, homeowners association dues, taxes, or insurance expenses may be added back to the borrower's cash flow. That was on rental. Okay. So if you have a rental property and you write these things off, we're not going to hold that against you. Okay. In your income, even though you get a credit on your taxes, it's not necessarily held against you in the long term. Okay. That's on rentals. This is where people get themselves in trouble. Schedule C's and S corps. S corps, everybody's familiar. If you don't, come see me. I'll explain more of this. But if you're a borrower, especially you got your landscapers and you got your tree and you got all these people doing all this work and making all this money, and their accountant takes the easy route and writes off something that could have been written off a different way. Not illegal, not wrong. It's just the way that, like depreciation. You got a guy that has a bunch of heavy equipment. The accountant writes it off one way. If he wrote it off as depreciation, instead of writing it off as expense, fuel, tires, random stuff that doesn't help, depreciation, you get the same amount of credit and we can add all of it back in. I have a guy that owns a Service Master Clean. He's going to be really busy because they go in, they fix all these properties. He has a lot of equipment, RVs, cleaning machines, tractors, forklifts, all that stuff gets depreciated, and warehouses. All that cost depreciates down. He gets a credit on his taxes, but we can add that income back to the corporate profit and he gets that percentage back. Okay. So the reason I'm giving you these sheets is you're not an accountant. I don't want you, I'm not an accountant, but if we read the basic guidelines on them, try to make sure that your accountant is aware that, hey, look, these are the areas that are helpful when I'm trying to get a mortgage sometime in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean you can't write off anything. Just put it in the right box. That's all. Your interest, your amortization, one-time expense. Let's say you have a realtor's, had to buy a laptop. Don't put laptop on there. You put one-time expense. Okay. You don't have to write it. There's different places to put the same information on a tax return. One we can use, one we can't. Okay. So if you do have a one-time expense, that's fine. Use it. If you have if you write off your cars, okay, but you pay it out of your personal, it's on your credit. I would suggest all of you have a business account in your name, make all of your payments, take your checks, put in the business account, pay the car out of there. If you have a car, guess what? And it's paid for 12 months out of your business account, we can exclude that from your personal liabilities. Okay, that can make a big difference. Car payments are expensive, $700, $800, $900. Some of you big ballers, $1,500, whatever. Correct. 12 months. We need 12 months of it. Okay. I have an illustration. I'm doing a loan right now for a client that we did a loan. Where's Kelly? So she's not here. They were did a couple. They're no longer a couple. They had the COVID divorce thing. So long story short, the husband's making all the payments out of his own account for 12 months. We can exclude her off of that loan so she can buy another house. Okay. If you have a business and you're writing things off, the best thing you do is pay as much as you can out of the business. That's like a credit related item. That way, if you do it for 12 months, that helps your debt to income, gives you ability to buy more. Okay. I don't get into taxes too much, but you have questions, you have things. I can tell you this, a personal story. The IRS has came after me before, and usually I always win. They came after me for $38,000 last year. I paid them $300. I was right, they were wrong, but long story short, we have learned taxes over the year, and there's a way to do it right. There's a way to make things correct, and you should do them. Okay, but the average person is going to get audited if you make a certain amount of money all the time. It's not something to be scared about, but it doesn't mean you don't do what's right. I'm not asking you to do anything that's wrong. What I'm saying is put it in the right box. I had the IRS agent go, wow, I didn't know that. I'm like, okay, good. Now can we move on to step 2? So that's it. Any questions on any of that stuff? I know I covered a lot today. Taxes, you all got it. All right, good. Easy enough.
Cool.
Anything else? Rates are good. Rates are going to be fine. The programs are fine. We are having issues with some low credit borrowers because they're, like I said, they're having that issue. But you know, if they have money, all your other programs are running fine. The people that have money, 20% down, all your investor loans, get them all done because investors are still busy because they see the opportunity in the market. So hopefully we'll all just, you know, get through the next few months and then be busy.
I'm sorry, what's the rate of the conventional loan?
Average interest you can Google right now on your phone is 6.75 for a 30-year mortgage. And that's across the whole entire country. We're sometimes better than that, but we're going to be in that number. And again, the big factor that we're having with that is less investors want to buy those loans right now because they know they're going to get refi. They don't offer there's no prepayment. There are not prepayment penalties on regular conventional or government backed loans. So they don't have that guaranteed year, 2 years, 3 years to do it. And that's why they don't want to buy those loans. So that's why the 10-year treasury, if you notice, shot up. It's starting to itch its way back down because if they won't buy mortgages, big back mortgages, they'll buy 10-year treasuries. Those are two places where those two things, they're not connected, but they're similar because it's like, you know, I like blackjack or I like craps. Having a bad day on blackjack, going to craps. It's like that. That's what they're doing, except they're gambling a lot more money. Adjustables are slightly better. So if you hear the term LIBOR, it's the London Interbank, blah, blah, blah. But basically that's what your rates for ARMs are based off of. Okay. And they are higher. It's not based on prime. Prime's a different one. That's where your HELOCs are based off of. So the LIBOR rate, and then they add to that number. So in a situation on conventional loans, you're going to see a better on a 7-1 ARM right now. You will hear crazy things about 3 years and 5-year ARMs. The reason why you don't see a lot of those loans is because the borrower, there's called the Ability to Repay Act, passed after the big crash. They have crazy good rates. The problem is we have to qualify the borrower on the worst case scenario if the ARM is less than 7 years. Okay, because what happened in all those times, super low rates, it amortized up in 3 or 5 years, and guess what? They couldn't make the payment. They went from interest only or 3%, and all of a sudden they're paying 9%, that's 8, 9%. That's when the market crashed. So they took away that ability to do that loan. A 7-1 ARM means that for 7 years, the payment's fixed, and then it adjusts every bit after that. 3 years, same thing, 3 year, then adjust, 5 year, whatever. Okay. It's typically going to be anywhere from a half to a point less. Okay. It's not like it's going to go from 6 to 2 or 6 to 3 or 6 to 4. You're looking at 6s to 5s. You're not going to see a lot on government backed loans because again, that goes back to what I just said. Those investors don't want to touch that loan for 2 seconds because VA, FHA have the EARL program is actually designed to get them out of that loan. EARL is number one thing on EARL. Are you going from, no matter what the rate difference is, if you're going from an ARM to a fixed loan, you can do an EARL immediately. So investors don't want it. They don't want that loan. Now they will do ARMs on conventional. I have done a lot of conventional ARMs lately. They care less. Most of them are, 20, 30% down. It doesn't hurt them. Yep. So we're already gone up. So we can go ahead and do it. It's 715 for most areas. We don't have the FHA number, but it's going to be somewhere similar. I've heard terms around 520. Last year was 420, 440 in some areas. So we're going to probably get 100,000. So I would say in this area, it would be in the 520 range. But the announcement's not out yet for FHA, but it will be. I can do conventional right now, but because, again, back to the earlier conversation we had, all the loans are sold. They won't be sold before it changes. So if you do one of those loans, and I locked your loan in right now, you're probably closed 30, 60, 90 days. They'll sell the loan and they'll take the fund because it's more money. But yes, we can do right now, the 715 you can do right now. Well, the rates conventional are going to be around the same, whether they do a large or a small. What I'm saying is that they have the ability to purchase. The reason why you want to go conventional over jumbo, less reserves are required. Now, jumbo rates are better, but you have to have money. I mean, it really comes down to that. So if you have client with, 12, 24 months of reserves and he's buying a $700,000 house, it's probably better going jumbo because they'll give him a risk factor is way down the more money you have. Okay. But if they don't, and they have only the 5% down, or, they want to qualify, then you want to try to keep the credit score issues, then you're going to do conventional. I looked at a jumbo rate on a bar super qualified and it was like super low and the arms are everywhere in those ones. But they're dealing with people that have accumulated more money over time. So the risk factors are less. And jumbo doesn't have to be 700. There are jumbo options that go down to like 400 or 500. It's considered jumbo, but it's where super qualified borrowers still meet the guidelines. And the bank doesn't mind taking them. Chase doesn't mind taking them because those loans aren't sold to the government. They are held by the investor and they want to keep them. All right. Anything else?
Awesome.
Don't
Yeah.
be shy. You can come by my office and ask me on the other stuff too. When you get self-employed borrowers, if you start talking to someone, they're a self-employed borrower, it's okay to ask, because it'll save you some time. And if they talk before they file their taxes in the next few months, it will help. Okay. All right. That's
Sweet.
it.
Let's move on to Caravan. First, we've got Brian and Nancy. So we're going to have 3 properties on Caravan, all 3 waterfront Apollo Beach properties. Got one on Wisteria Lane, Cocoa Lane, and Spindle Palm. So I'm going to need Mr. D. You're going to pitch 6327 Wisteria Lane. That's what we're going to start with. Tell us about it.
Okay. We're actually going to have Nancy pitch 6327. She's the lead on that. Go ahead.
Yep, we'll both pitch. Anyway, this is a beautiful home in Bell Harbor, which is our farm. There's no CDD, no HOA there. And this home has been totally updated inside. It's got beautiful pavers, lush landscaping. They have custom lighting in the evening, in the gardens in the front, back, the house, and the inside the patio. You're maybe 2 minutes to the bay. They have a beautiful kitchen. I mean, the granite is in the kitchen. The island's huge. Porcelain tile in the main area, engineered hardwood in the bedrooms, 7,000-pound covered boat lift. Am I missing anything?
This is a uniquely remodeled home. We've seen a ton of homes throughout Apollo Beach. This is a Jack Apple home built back in the 70s.
Hold that just a little closer.
Jack
Just a
Apple
little.
home built back in the 70s. And however, the remodel job on this house has changed the floor plan such that it really is truly unique. So it's a fabulous property. The lighting is LED lighting throughout the property, in the pavers, outside, in the front, in the back. It's truly a unique Apple home and in great condition. These folks have been in the house for,
There's the
I think
bag.
it's 30 years, 35 years.
Right, and the house next door, I believe, Jack Apple House 2 is listed for about 980,
What's this one listed for?
920. 1784. It's a 3-bedroom with a bonus room off the master, 2-bath, 2-car garage.
Very nice.
The other one is
Yes.
999. The one to the left of it. If you're,
It's 999. The
Yes.
Amber's got the one on the other end. Yeah.
So the other one is that's 6327 Wisteria. That one's live on the market right now, correct?
Correct.
Good. And the next one we have is 6366 Cocoa.
Right.
Is this one
This
not
is a
live yet?
it is not live. The pictures are done. It'll be up this morning. So it's they're working on pictures.
Okay.
But everything else is it.
Right here,
This
where the red dot
property
is.
is 6366 Cocoa Lane is on the Inner Harbor. This is a story of Beauty and the Beast.
Exactly.
It's a great, Great
Nancy's the
location.
beauty and I'll be the beast in this case. So
This one is just location, location, location.
this house is pretty much an original condition. It's fabulous, fabulous water. The inner harbor in this area is there's no wake zone there. It's got a long dock going out. It's a piling on the lift was damaged during the hurricane, and it will be replaced by the cellar.
This one?
Yeah. Circular drive, pavers, paver driveway. The house is the way you've seen a million of them. It happens to be a 4-bedroom, so it's 2,050 square feet, and it is also priced at $900,000. I said also, it's priced at $900,000
Because of the premium law.
because of the location.
That's
You
a great
just,
location.
if you knocked the house down, you would have one of the fabulous lots in town. The way you remodel it, you could put $150,000 into it, and it would look like the house on Wisteria Lane. So Apple homes are unusual in that you can move any interior wall you would like. So the exterior walls are the supporting walls. Anything inside is game for remodeling, and every buyer has had a ball with them. This one just offers the very unique view of being in the harbor, and half a beer, about a third of the beer to the bay. Great house. So it'll be up today. Should be live by noon. But the two houses are within 2 blocks of each other, so it just made sense to throw them both on Caravan together.
Sure. But
And you
photos are being done today, or the photos are,
they
photos
were
are
done
in?
yesterday, and he
okay,
has
so
them.
it will be live today.
It'll be live today.
All right, so you all are free to market the property, take photos of the property, shoot video and put it online. I just want to make sure as long as it's live by tomorrow, you can put any information you want out on social media if you take photos while you're there, videos.
Good point. Thank you.
Right. Slide in the back? Yes.
Yes.
It's I think it has diving board and a slide.
All right, so
This
we
is-
got,
This is probably the largest pool in Apollo Beach. I've never seen a pool this big.
Looks kind of, you'll see it's kind of got a Fred Flintstone kind of thing.
all right, guys, let's move. There's people online too, so let's just keep, I just want to keep everything flowing through.
Sorry.
So we got Wisteria Lane, and then we're going from Wisteria Lane to Cocoa Lane, and then over across the boulevard to 904 Spindle Palm.
Spindle Palm
So-
Way, yes. This is a 1911 square foot home. It was built in 1980. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It is an immaculately landscaped home. It has got an
Well-
just unbelievable yard. It actually takes up 2 lots.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
the
say, look
canal
at the lot.
the canal
gotta-
frontage is 165 feet of canal frontage. And they have used up every inch of that yard with just beautiful landscaping and extra buildings. They've got a shed in the back that's got a kitchen built onto the rear side of it with a grill built in and a kitchen sink
That's all there.
and a bar. That's all theirs.
This is all,
All of that is theirs, and it's all private because of the landscaping. You can't tell you've got neighbors on either side. So they've got the shed that's got a workshop in it, and then they've got the kitchen.
this is the
behind that.
backyard. This is
That's the
yeah,
backyard,
Going out to
yes.
the lift.
It's all pavered with walkways, the driveway's pavered, there's an extra parking pad that leads to the back, so you've got room to park an RV or a boat trailer. Inside, you walk in and the ceilings have been vaulted. They were originally 8-foot ceilings, but they've been vaulted on the interior in the great room to give you that wide open appearance from the front all the way back to the back. Beautiful custom kitchen cabinetry, solid wood cabinets, marble countertops. They are, soft close cabinets, high end, and everything throughout the kitchen has been updated.
Storage on both sides of the
Storage on
island.
both sides of the island. That island is huge. It's got to be at least 10 or 12 feet long by 4 or 5 feet wide. All new flooring throughout. That's all engineered hardwood that is throughout the whole living area of the home, except for the bathrooms, which is porcelain tile. The bathrooms have all been upgraded with the granite countertops. ceramic tiles surrounds showers, walk-in shower in the master. Everything has been upgraded, you know, from top to bottom. These people were former home builders. And so they did all of this themselves with subcontractors, and they put every high-end touch in the home that they could. That's the outdoor living space with the kitchen and the seating area outside of the dining room that's got a custom chandelier that they made, and they're leaving that behind. The
driftwood,
workshop
that's
and the
really cool.
shed, all of this overlooks the canal frontage. They've got a boat dock with a 7,000-pound lift that's covered. It's got water and electric. Walking paths through the ground, you know, through the landscaping. There's room on the other side of the home to put a pool. And I've got a pool contractor coming out this week to give me a bid and a schematic for what the pool would look like, and how much that would add to it. It's listed for $998.9 with the pool. The appraiser came out. The appraisal is came back at $999. With the pool, it would appraise for 1.25.
So you guys had an appraisal done prior to?
Yes, we had an appraisal done prior to. We also had an inspection done prior to. They found a couple of small electrical issues, which the homeowner is addressing now. So everything else came back clean. It is a gorgeous house.
Probably want to maybe add into the public remarks something about the appraisal.
Mhm.
Recent
Will do.
appraisal done
I've
at
gotta get a
nine,
copy of
at
it,
nine
yeah.
ninety-nine, price below appraised value. I mean,
Right.
even if it's $100, it's still, still under appraised value.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's
that's a
an
gorgeous
extra
home.
area behind the master bedroom where they have the laundry area. They have a home office. They have an extra built-in walk-in closet behind the master bedroom
So
it
it's a
is- it's
3-2 with an office
with an office and
Okay.
extra
and some extra space closet.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's gorgeous.
1911,
1911.
beautiful property. Awesome. So
The
anybody
lot
have any
is
questions
a
about,
third of an acre.
anybody have any questions about Caravan? It's 10:30 right now. Brian, when do you want us, Wisteria, Nancy, when do you want us? Okay, so let's say take 15 minutes. Let's leave at 10:45. We'll head to 6327 Wisteria, then 6366 Cocoa, and then 904 Spindle. Sound good? Leaving the door here at 10:45. Awesome, guys. Happy Tuesday.